Good evening and welcome to another edition of This is African Football. Wow, what a day. 15 days to the CAF elections. And as I'm saying that, 15 days to the CAF elections, all the candidates now have presented their manifestos. But we will have more to say about that because next week is also another big week. The current CAF president, the suspended current CAF president, who in fact who's been brought back by CAS for now, Ahmad will be appearing at CAS. Remember, against the FIFA Ethics Committee ruling that banned him for 5 years. But we have more on that. We'll also be discussing the CAF Champions League. But just to start, I listened to him. You will never call him again, Jeff. We have Mulumba here with
Katala.
Mulumba
You know
Katala.
why? You know why?
Yes.
Because when I was born, I'm born during Mobutu's regime, but Mobutu had this concept which was called authenticity. So he said that anyone who's under his regime will not be called by a European name. So it will be only our Congolese name. So that's Mulumba Katala. And it's been like that because it is in all my papers, even at university degrees, it is Mulumba Katala. So, but I'm Jeff, it's Joseph. So for me, I will try to add that, but I don't want to add that because it is not in my previous papers.
So shall we be right to say Jeff is a trading name?
So, no. I was very impressed today. Okay, his other name is Mulumba. Even though I didn't want to hear them saying another name or to even see the face who was asking the question because I knew even the content of the question gave it to me. Yes, and also well represented today was one of the chief campaigners of Motsepe's campaign. The green and white colors were in the building. Ahmad was in the building. So that meant that Greg Etafia was well represented. Good evening.
No, thank you, Mr. Velile. Good evening to you and to everyone there. Mr. Jeff, I don't know the other name, Jeff, is going to take time for me to get used to it. Let me just keep it, Jeff. And Mr. Tim.
Hello.
Good evening, guys.
How are you?
I'm good.
What is your Igbo name?
Me?
Yes.
No, I was born and brought up in the northern part, yeah. I grew up in the northern part of Nigeria. So
what's your Igbo name? What? What's your Igbo name?
No, I don't have Igbo name. I have it's just very Etafia. Yeah,
I grew up in the northern.
No, Greg. An African cannot have only two names. The Greg Etafia. Greg is not Nigerian.
I have a traditional name. Nigeria is a lot of what they call it, a lot of ethnic in terms of we have about 100 and something. We can speak 100 and something languages, but the three major languages is the Igbo, the Yoruba, and the Hausa. So I was fortunate enough to be born in the Hausa side. That's the northern part, where the Celestine Babayaro, the Daniel Mokachi, Garba Lawa, where they all came from, so, and Kaduna.
Mutu Adepoju.
Yeah, Adepoju is from the west side. So Kaduna there is like a small, a town that's, with football.
But what is your African name?
I'm
beside it.
I'm going there now.
You are taking the highway.
I'm bringing my manifesto. So let me get there.
We come for manifestos.
Are you protecting a certain identity?
No.
Well, On the far right, all the way from Kampala, Sekafa doesn't have a candidate in these elections, but I can tell you one thing: they are going to be the kingmakers in these elections. And
I think
if what I heard is true of what happened in Doha, things are going to be very interesting.
Sure.
Timothy Batabaire.
Yeah, good evening, Craig, Mr. Mulumba Katala, Velile.
You pronounce it very well. I can see that you're my neighbor.
and to our listeners, it's a very interesting episode, and you can tell from the excitement of the panelists that yes, we are bringing the latest African news, and it all seems to be good news just across the African continent. So we are happy and glad to have you on board.
Thank you, Tim. This is it. I was there, and we were, as the African football family, following the developments around this today, building African football to be the best in the world. That was the last manifesto from the 4 candidates of Dr. Patrice Motsepe, also presenting his CAF 10-point action plan today. Very interesting it was. We've heard from Mr. Augustin Sengo, we've heard from Jacques Anoma, we've heard from Ahmed Yaya. Today, Jeff, I'm going to start with you. Having listened earlier today and followed this manifesto launch of Mr. Motsepe, what are your thoughts on this plan?
Firstly, I would write to Mr. Motsepe to appoint me as his ambassador, his African ambassador. But I wasn't impressed. All the candidates, I'm not impressed at all. It was empty. It was shallow. It is the talk about things we know already as a sport people, as football lovers, as Africans. They talk about they were so light. All of them. I'm not impressed by anyone. And it is a shame when people cannot really address the real issues that we face in Africa. And I was very disappointed. It was talking about the minister came up and saying nothing at all, talking about the women game that it doesn't really master. And I was very disappointed, very disappointed. And when Mr. Motsepe, because if I can see all the points, those are the points that we know, talking about VAR, talking about making Champions League and AFCON very lucrative. We know about all this already. But come up with something that will say to me, wow.
Maybe what is it that we are looking forward to? That was not there.
For me, I'll say that because I want them to go deeper. Because like in Europe, you see UEFA is working with the EU. And in Africa, I want CAF to African Union, because I know that within African Union, we do have a sport committee, but that sport committee only comes up every 4 years or 5, whenever any country hosts all Africa games, which is like a mini Olympics. Only it comes under ACNOA. It comes under ACNOA.
Now I'm sure you must have listened to my question to say CAF always talks about this MOU that they have with the AU. No, I'm saying you must have listened to my question as well, if you remember.
Yeah. No, I listened to your question. Yeah. I did listen. I saw you. Yes. Yeah.
I didn't get a proper response to that.
Yes, but no. And you could. And I was, it's very complicated for someone who's vying for a position of president of CAF, because Mr. Motsepe, he doesn't know African politics when it comes to football. But when he goes into the business side of the thing, he's a master. But when it comes to politics, he knows nothing. And I have a problem with that.
Yeah, but sorry, Mr. Velile, I think now, I mean, there's a lot of damage control should be done in CAF in terms of any president that is, going to be there, So because a lot of things have been, have been gone astray, if I can put it that way, in terms of a lot of mismanagement of a lot of things that we need to, take charge. I just think, with his manifesto today, I think, okay, as Jeff said, and that's what you have been hearing for the 4 candidates. There's nothing wild that came out. But for someone to implement it is the most important thing. Because, they all have been saying this, through not this one campaign, the last campaign, everyone have been saying it. No one have really implemented what they said, But, with Patrice Motsepe, I think, for me, okay, take out, the in and out of the CAF, in terms of the election and in terms of in and out, how you become a president. For me, he really has what he has said today. If I listen to it properly, he really have African football in his heart, and he want to better and see how it goes from now on 2021 to 2025. I think that's the most important way for African football now.
Very interesting. Tim, you listened to the manifesto launch today. What were your takes?
Look. What was very interesting was even when it regards to this panel, all of us were asking, where is Motsepe? When are we hearing his manifesto? When is he going to talk to us as African people regarding football? What does he intend to do? And he did really answer the question correctly when he said that I really had the opportunity to have an interaction with the FA presidents, first and foremost, hear them out and gauge their views. And then from that, he was able to formulate the 10-point program that he intended to use for CAF to develop African football as the president. Now, for me, that in that overall conversation, he won the trust of so many, including myself, that he has done his groundwork with the people who matter most, and those are the voters. And then when it came to talk about some of the things that they intend to do for African football, it was more inclining more of the commercial side on his part, because that is what he knows best.
Yeah.
And most of the other football aspects, I was seeing him inclining more to trust the people that is gonna, appoint on his committees. So I trust that if elected, the committee members that is gonna entrust with your power to help him galvanize that, I think it will come on board, because in his speech, I did not see any doubt that he's willing to pump in all the resources that he has got at his disposal to try and transform what we call African football. I think from his speech indicated that he's willing to do what is possible to try and make sure that African football is put on the map. And then he did mention something that is going to be of interest, and it's going to try to make even the Europeans take notice, and that was to try and remind the nationalized Africans who are playing in European countries, who have taken up citizenship in those countries, to remind them that they have got a role to play in their ancestral land, and that's African football, and that's Africa as a continent. So if that comes into play,
that's not a question. That's not even an issue, because they do that. Mercedes,
no,
he played his entire life in France,
yes,
but he didn't forget his family in Ghana.
Mr. Murumba,
and his country.
Mr. Murumba, it's very important for us to notice that when you play in Europe and you are being rejected there, you're not being accepted as part of them, then there's always a tendency to fall back home and try to uplift your importance. At this point in time is, we want to identify them, even when they are still active, to remind them that you come from Africa and be proud of the roots of being an African. So that is going to be from the center of power, and that is CAF. And I think I'm proud of him for that.
And the other interesting thing, Mr. Velile, that he mentioned that okay, the CAF office will not be will not be relocated from Morocco to South Africa, like a lot of people.
No, he can't do that. He can't do that.
No, I mean, but people,
it is a long process. He can't do that.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean,
that was never in the plan. That was never in the plan.
Yeah, but people are.
I'll give you an example. The CAF was founded in 1957. They waited until last year to get the seat agreement in Egypt. So it's not an easy process.
Okay.
Yeah, but very interesting. And to what also Tim is talking about, I listened to him when he was talking about the infrastructure development. Now we know that the African continent, most of these, even here in South Africa, when it comes to infrastructure, that's something that belongs to government. You know, that's government's duty. But it was interesting to hear him when he said already he's been approached by potential investors. You know, people who want to come and assist in that space, because you know, we've seen manifestos even now, but I found his manifesto. I don't know how on your side, but I found his manifesto because he was talking about results. Because at some stage he was saying it's all good to have plans and make presentations, but if there are no results, then it's a waste.
Yeah, but to reach there is the level of result, you've got to work very hard. And I'm not telling you lie. According to me, when I watched the whole panel today, I was so much impressed by the knowledge of the marketing strategy side of Ivan Koza. That guy should have got the MBA. The way he explained it. Now, this is how you'll get a result. You don't get a result just because you talk a result.
No.
To get a result, to prepare. You have to invest a lot of money. You have to train. You have to coach. And all this requires money. And this is the side that I was very much happy with Ivan Koza. And also, I wanted, when he was asked a question about the involvement of Gianni Infantino, pushing him to be the candidate, and once he's elected, he will make Fatma Samunga his Secretary General. Mr. Motsepe couldn't answer that question. He said that we need FIFA, we need everybody to come. FIFA has done a lot for Africa. FIFA has done this, FIFA has done that. But FIFA, why they don't go to UEFA? Because I don't think that in Ukraine, in Georgia, in Malta, or in Albania, they don't have problem. Why he doesn't go to UEFA to do all this that he does in Africa? And I was very much perturbed. And I wanted Patrice Motsepe to say that we know that because CAF, the previous management, Ahmad has ceded the TV right for the qualifying campaign of the next World Cup. Why? Because we need that money. That money should come to CAF. He could have said that we're going to see that and see how we can reverse the situation. Those are the right for CAF. They're not the right for FIFA. FIFA doesn't do that in CONMEBOL and CONMEBOL, or that they don't even do that in Oceania.
But we're
talking about Europe. But why Africa?
But we're talking about something that was allowed by the current regime, and some of those people who are in the current regime, they are the ones who are also standing now.
Yeah, but Ahmad is not there. But he is coming with a new style of management. He has to tackle that issue. Because when Ahmad was asked to see Lagadia, he canceled the contract. And for how long that contract have been in? Those are the issues. And for me to start a campaign like this, because he's a novice, he's the first one to come, to come this part of in South Africa, especially from South Africa, to campaign for the post of the president of CAF. For me, you could have chosen, an example of the poverty coming to the limelight, especially coming from Soweto background and the apartheid. For me, he could have gone to Kenya and go to check the history of Mathare United. Mathare United is a team which was formed by street kids. And when you see where they come from, you even wonder how people can live in such condition. And as a CAF president, when you go there and coming back with footage, so the whole world can see, that alone will make you one of the special people, because nobody think about those kind of things. But this is Africa for us. For me, this is Africa. I have to go there, because when you say that, you're very impressed because you talked with the voters, FA president, but some of the FA president, they are plenty in the EXCO committee. What are they doing? They are just there for their own. They don't even do much for their own countries. And they don't even know what is going down there on the grassroots.
But they will vote on the 12th.
Yes, I know. They have the
So
vote.
for me, Mr. Mulumba, what is important is to first get the mandate. And that's the FA president. And once they give him the mandate, then he can be able to get them in a position to agree on the way forward of what he intends to do. Yes, we are talking about, for example, how he failed to answer the question about the rights and everything like that. Remember, Ahmad made the same mistake. He did promise that he will cancel the contract of Lagade without much research and think about the repercussions. He did act on that, and we know where we are at this moment in time. So I think it's very important that you are not in a rush to promise what you are not 100% sure to deliver. At least it's better you promise what you know, and that's to get into power. Once you get into power, then you make sure that you set up these committees to make sure that they effect what you want to do. Remember, if he's visionary, there's not much he's going to do in the 4 years, but it will be more to set up the foundation to build on to if he's given a second term to complete what he intends to achieve overall. Development of African football is a long process, but if the foundation is set well, then we can be able to achieve that over a period of time.
Yeah. Craig, this came from Amaju.
Pinch.
You know, we followed African football, and especially when it comes to elections. And we know very well that you don't just talk about the numbers, because the numbers, sometimes what you are talking now cannot be the true reflection of what will happen on election day. You know, when you won elections before the elections take place. But there was a dominant talk of 35 votes today. I'm not sure what to believe in.
You know, sometimes, you know, this FA people, you know, I mean, okay, other FA, I mean, Amaju finish, for me, I think, you know, come that day, I think he already make up his mind. He know who he's going to vote for. That one is sure. That's one vote. We always know that one vote is there. Talking about 35 votes from the other FAs, and out of 54, I think that's a landslide. That one you don't even need to, you know, think about anything. That is what they're promising. So, but you know, on the 12th, it's still a long way to go, Mr. Velile. On the 12th, it's like, you know, playing the 90 minutes with extra time in the football game. So it's gonna be okay. Last week we spoke about, you know, you're gonna know who votes, you know, after the voting. But I think, you know, in Africa, a lot of things can change before then. People can, you know, decide to turn around, and you know what, the northern part of this African continent, you know how they manipulate things in terms of getting close to the election, you know. So I just feel like, and I pray that a lot of people that promise Patrice Motsepe that, you know, at least he's gonna get those votes, I just pray they can, you know, deliver on that day.
Yeah, but Greg, we have to understand that we are in the period of election campaign, so anyone is allowed to say whatever he wants. But because I haven't told you what Senghor thinks. The Senghor said he's got 38. Anuma said he's got 30. Yaya said that he's got 31. So I don't believe
so everybody's on 30. Everybody's on 30.
Yeah, everybody's in package. Everybody's in package.
But
So the other 14, who are you giving that other 14 to? Because
I
everyone
don't
from
know.
30.
It's election. It is the silly season, eh? It is the silly season.
So the other 3 must share that 13. They must share it among themselves, and that 14 among themselves.
It's the silly season, you know. But over and above, you know, over and above, he has demonstrated his willingness to consult.
yes,
I think that is a new leadership style when it comes to African football.
Yeah.
Yes, it's campaigning time, but that willingness to consult, go overboard to take a flight and go and meet these various FAs at different places and try to hear them out and have this discussion. And for me, what was paramount is his willingness to meet one of his challengers in when he went to Ivory Coast. I think he's willing to listen to what other contestants are offering African football, and maybe if they so agree, can come on board and make one strong team to try and develop football as one. So if he's able to get the rest of the candidates to see his vision, and then they can put resources together to grow this brand of football in African content, I'll be for it.
Yeah, but which kind of vision are we talking about? Because I also waited to hear Mr. Motsepe saying that we don't have to copy UEFA every time that because we asked by FIFA. For example, the founding of the team in Africa, it's only our government who found the team, and they must have some kind of percentage of control over the affairs of the FA. We don't have to copy what is already been stereotyped but according to European model.
Maybe he didn't emphasize it a lot today, but during the COSAFA AGM, he said, before you even talk about a strong CAF, you need to have self-sustainable FAs.
Yes.
Once you've got self-sustainable FAs which are strong enough, that will translate to CAF, because CAF is made up of the FAs. And and to the point that Tim is also making, I remember after he had finished with his manifesto, he said he's just received a message, and the message was coming from West Africa, from 2 FA presidents that he had visited there. And they were happy that he's included their ideas in his manifesto. Now they can own the manifesto to say it's theirs as well. Yes. But there's a point that Tim was just made here, and I want to come to this, Jeff, because I hear now that there's a story doing the rounds now. It's been published in 2 publications now. Started in Algeria, I think it's now in Egypt. Fawzi Legja, from Morocco. It's reported that he is bringing together the other 3 candidates to come up against Motsepe.
I knew that it was going to end up like that, because he's got his guy. His guy is Senghor. His guy is Senghor. And if Senghor, or if there is there's no winner straightforwardly, and then they will go to the second round. And if they manage to go to the second round, whoever will be against Patrice Motsepe will have the support of the other 3.
But remember, and we've seen this in elections, there is no guarantee that all those who would have voted for Yaya and Anoma,
there's no guarantee,
would actually go to Senghor. Yeah,
but Legja wants Senghor to win. Legja will do whatever it takes to get for Motsepe to lose. That I'm certain about that, but I don't know how he's going to go about it.
So Mr. Mulumba, at least that Fawzi is not new into attempting to do things his own way, and I think he has been found out for a long time. And
no, but sometimes, sorry, Tim. Sometimes he's got a point because he said that what I did read some of his point that he made up to say that the Moroccan football, it came to reach that level where they are for 1, 2, 3, and he showed that to CAF.
Yes.
He showed that to the executive committee, and Ahmed
Yes.
refused and took what Gianni Infantino was saying, and that's why Fatma Samula came, and that's why Lekja has never forgiven them for that.
That's true, but you know, if you look at the block that is holding, it's not that strong. So what we are saying is, in the candidate of Motsepe, we have got a very strong candidate that whatever Fauza is trying to plan and do, so Motsepe can do.
Who say that he is the strongest candidate? Because you're not there when Sengo is campaigning. You're not there when Jack Numa is campaigning. You're not there when Yaya is campaigning. We only hear when we see Patrice campaigning.
Yeah, but also, Jeff,
we have been...
Fauzi was going with Yaya, not Sengo.
Who?
Fauzi. You will also recall that even when Yaya was presenting his manifesto, Fauzi was there. But now he can realize that he is looking for the wrong horse.
No, the changing of goalposts will take place until the last day. That's for sure. We're gonna have so many people changing the goalposts. So at this moment in time, yes, it may look promising, but you don't bank on it until the last day. That it is a silly season. Today you're gonna meet these people, they're gonna sing all the praises, you do this and everything like that. But then when it comes to that day of the ballot, that day of casting the vote, people may change their mind just when they're about to tick. So at this moment in time, we're having an analysis on all the manifestos, what has been presented to us. And we are trying to look at which is more viable when it comes to growing African football. Morocco has been very passionate to try and grow African football, but in a way it has been dictatorial. They want to be the one directing the ship, other than inclusivity, to try and have all other FAs participating in the growth of African football. They want to control African football and show that they are leading African football. And that's what is different now from Motsepe coming on board. He's saying the CAF is made up of all FAs. If all FAs can come on board with the resources that we can raise, we can grow this game of football in the African continent.
Well, that's going to be very interesting because it was going to bring me to my last point around this, because obviously, as much as the rules, it's not there in the CAF rules to say this, but Greg, he talks about stepping down as Sundowns president if he's elected. I think that's the right thing to do.
No, definitely, because you cannot, your loyalty, or I cannot put it here. I mean, if you're president of CAF, I mean, that's what you really want, because you have done it. He has done it with Sundowns, president of Sundowns Football Club, and he has won the Champions League. They have won the league so many times. He has done a lot. I think that's the right thing for him to do. But for me, I really, when I saw his manifesto today, everyone has been saying the same thing, but he had a lot of good things, the VAR, the women football. Women football is one thing that, we in Africa is something that, not some few countries take serious about, but I mean, you need to go around in the whole, in the whole Africa, so that at least every football, like the way the men football is developed, we need the women football to be developed like that. So I think that one too is one good thing, and most especially with the ref situation. This ref situation in terms of how you look after them, because they control the football. We can talk about everything we want to say, but when the ref, like what happened in the Champions League final, last time, what happened in the Confederation, they can just rule everything. And now you have supporters, unfortunately that time they were supporters. You have supporters, you have players taking the law into their hands. So I mean, that's the most important thing. Look after them very well, let them be looked after, and let them officiate match correctly, and let everything be in place. Those ones are the important thing. We can talk about other things, but football on the pitch is one thing that we need to look after, and he has put that in his manifesto, which is very important too.
Wow, very interesting indeed. I think we've exhausted now this talk of the CAF elections and also the manifesto of Dr. Motsepe. I want us to move quickly, and I'm worried about Brajel, but he should be he should be good. A big one, a team. I mean, if you look at the results, and I was concerned at some stage, Simba saying going all out war, but you look on the stands, they say there's no COVID in Tanzania, but I don't know, because people are dying in Tanzania and they're not being reported that they're dying of COVID. That's a story for another day. But
so that was.
But I look at the result. I look at the result. I see many people are shocked. But if you look at the history of in fact, even Zamalek, when they play in Tanzania, but if you look at the history of Egyptian teams when they play in Tanzania, I think even in 2019, Simba won this fixture in Tanzania. But I was not entirely surprised.
Are you sure, Vele, you weren't surprised? I'll beg to differ on that. I'll take your word for it, but I know down, you have a feeling with Msimbazi as a fan or a sympathizer, and then you have got Pitso Msimani. This was really a good fixture in that.
No. I'm going to be. Firstly, and I know it from here in South Africa. When Sundowns places the fixture against a North African team, especially Egyptian teams, at 3 p.m. I know.
I think the rest of Africa knows that once you play the Arabs around that time, they will struggle. We all know that Arabs intend to structure their play. If they don't score in the 15 minutes, in the last 15 minutes, they are most likely to score you. So over time, countries and clubs have tried to structure how they can frustrate the Egyptian teams, frustrate them in the first 15 minutes, deny them possession, go hard on them, and then eventually when you get that killer pass and you get a goal, you stand a chance. And all of us, I'm sure we have played against these Arab teams, and in one way or the other, it has come out well. But you spoke about the history of these Arab teams playing in Tanzania, especially Mkapa Stadium. It has not been a very good hunting ground for most of these teams. And surely even Coach Pitso did mention that, yes, we are going to play Tanzania, but I'm worried about this Simba team. Because remember, with Sundowns, you always used to try and go and have some friendlies there. He knew exactly what he was going to face. But it was encouraging for him to say that, listen, we shall still come out of this group. It was a very good game of football on the African continent, that such a team as Simba can as well beat Al Hilal in Tanzania.
No, Mr. Tim, I disagree with you, Mr. Tim. You cannot have different rules with other people in the world. You have 30,000 fans coming to the stadium in your home games. That's for the second time now. 6 points. They got 6 points at home now. Saying that there's no COVID there. But at the end of the day, when you go away,
Etafia, there's nothing wrong Simba has done.
No,
your CAF permitted, your CAF gave a go-ahead that they can't do that. So every country is coming up with their own COVID-19 rules. So Tanzania is saying, trust the Almighty God, there's no corona, COVID-19. So now what happened was, they knew that these Egyptians, once they see the fans in the stands, they will panic. So they use it to their advantage.
I want to go to the goal scorer, because the goal scorer played under Pitso at Sundowns. I remember Pitso was the one who signed him. He he came here to play against Platinum Stars. I remember I watched that game. It was a CAF Confed game, and they were very impressed at Platinum Stars. I remember at that time. And Kevin Johnson knows this player, Louis Mukison, but he didn't get a chance. They loaned him to First Division. They loaned him to Cheaper. And I mean, I've been watching some of his matches. Even when I went to the derby, I watched his game. And we know that, especially here in Southern Africa, it's very rare to get a left-footed player who's equally there in terms of using his right foot. And you saw how well he took the goal, you know. So I'm trying to come back to the point where sometimes you don't give a player a chance and he comes back to bite you.
Sometimes it normally happens. Players, they always have that motivation, especially playing against their former coaches or playing against their former team. I mean, it's one thing that, you know, he's a very good player. You know, I mean, playing for Simba, you know, Simba is a top team in Tanzania. For me, going back to that point of fans, I mean, I think for me, Mr. Velile, okay, CAF allowed that. But I mean, I think it's a disadvantage, you know, for other teams, because other teams, they cannot have that role. Imagine Ahly having those fans in their home games. You understand? Yeah. So it's going to be something different, because don't forget.
Let me correct you there.
Okay.
Okay. With all the other countries, that is also based on the government regulations.
Yeah.
If the government regulations allow. Allowed. You see, Sundowns is going to play in Tanzania this weekend.
Tanzania.
Yes. And the team that brought the game here, CR Belouizdad from Algeria, if they applied for the fans to come, the fans will be there. You know.
Yeah.
So it's like Kaizer Chiefs is playing against Horoya. They can apply to CAF. You know, the government regulations don't allow for professional spectators.
Okay. But understandable. But that was a big advantage for Simba. You know, I mean, it's a big advantage.
I want to make a point of correction. The teams we are having are the champions of their respective countries. And the reason why there is home advantage is you have to make sure you use advantage of your home advantage, and they have made sure that they have picked up 6 points playing in their main stadium. So for me, I give it to them.
In fact, Mr. Team, the 3 points. No. I'm moving on this point because
no. Don't forget, there's goals advantage. There's goals advantage.
Imagine. The other 3 points was picked up in Kinshasa. It was not picked up in Dar Es Salaam.
Understandable, but I mean, there is a strong side. But I know Ahly, they will definitely bounce back with Piso, and he's already promised that definitely they're going to come out from that group. You know, but I mean, that group is going to be an interesting one, because 4 games to go now in terms of. Every team have 4 games to play now. We see how it's in the finals, because you need to win your home games, and Simba is showing that. And
also, it's not how you start, but it's how you finish.
But I mean, Simba, they're in a good position now to finish either first or second. I mean, they cannot just throw it away.
Points in the bag are more important than those you hope for.
Okay,
definitely.
I want to move to the next game. And my next game, still on the same group. It was in Khartoum. And Jeff, I mean, I was following this game. Jeff, if you can just unmute yourself there. I was following this game, and what was more interesting for me, because I think Vita, they fell behind. If my memory serves me well, they considered first there, but the response from Vita, I was like, wow. So this is how they respond, you know, because at some stage I felt, okay, they're gonna come back. Can you please unmute Jeff? I thought, okay, equalizer. It's just going to be it. Then they came 2, 4, in Khartoum. And now think about it. Almerek have conceded 7 goals in 2 matches.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, I heard you're talking about the game because there were two teams from Congo that went to play in Sudan. The first one was Vita. So Vita played you played against El Merreikh. That was there 24 hours before TP Mazembe yesterday. And, the team will agree with me that most of the time, the 10 or 15 first minutes on the pitch, it is called most of the time that as a round of observation. But that's why Vita was caught nagging. And when they woke up, and you could see the response. But I was not very much impressed by the performance of Vita. I wouldn't say that Vita played very well because I watched the whole game, but just because the opponent was very weak. I wonder why they managed to qualify.
No, Mr. Zef.
Very weak. They won 4-1.
You
very
make
weak.
your opponent weak.
Yes, it was. What was the score? What was the score in the first game against the very same team?
No. This one, the 4-1 is very important. They make the opponents very.
But
very
the game was not at the level. The game was not at the level of a Champions League.
But Mr. Jeff, what is in front of you? You only play what is in front of you. They are in front of them. They give them 4, and they are the best. There's nothing you can do. Because there's nothing you can do about them.
A couple hours later, when I watched the Mazembe against the Hilal, that was a total different ball game, I'm telling you. It was a perfect game. It was very nice.
So maybe the issue here is Almerreikh, because I remember against Al Ahly, they went to halftime still 0-0. Second half,
That's what I'm saying. That's not the team of Champions League. It's not the Champions League material.
But they're in the group stage. They qualified to the group stage.
Yeah, but sometimes team, you know better. Even Greg, you know better than me. That luck plays also an important role in football.
Yeah. But I just feel like you must give credit to Vita, because winning 4 away.
I know. Greg, I know the Vita that I'm talking about is the Vita that I used to see against against Al Ahly, against Sundowns. But it's not the Vita that I saw on Tuesday. That's not the Vita that I knew.
I understand, Mr. Jeff. Maybe it's easy for you in terms of them scoring 4. For me, I think they deserve, coming from a go down. Sometimes, when you go play away and you concede first, some teams get panic. Some teams they get panic. Everything just go astray in terms of you can get 4, or you can get 2 or 3, and first half. If you concede 2 or 3 in that part of the country, it's difficult for you to come back. But you must give credit to them for them to score 4 away. This goal difference might come in handy for them. So I just feel like they did very well. They make the opponent weak, because if
you should
what is in front of you, if you can take it away like what they did and score 4, I think must give credit to them.
I think it's very important to understand where Mr. Murumba Katala is coming from. He's one of these spoiled fans who know the quality that has to be played by the team of Vita. True. So even if they score 10, but when that level has not been reached, he was very honest to say no. That level that you have performed is because of the opponent. However, we say that they did the job well. They got the 3 points. They got the goal difference just to.
But Tim, did you watch the first game against Simba in Kinshasa?
That was a beautiful game. Yes.
They were awful.
Yes.
Vita didn't play well, but Simba played very well.
Simba played very well.
Scored through a penalty in that game, eh?
Yeah, but they played very well. They were dominating.
Yeah. But I want us to move. I don't have time. We've got less than 10 minutes left. We spoke about this game. It's 2 matches now without a win for Mazembe. And this is a group with Sundowns. And Sundowns, if they win against CR Belouizdad this week, they go 3 points clear at the top.
You know, this is the group that I like the most, because teams, the pedigree of all the teams are something to go by. You know, CRB of Algeria, it's been a long time. They haven't a feature in Champions League. Now they're coming with a bang, and they want to prove a point. And so they just tried to do something which was not done before, even when Oran, both Mouloudia, there's Mouloudia Oran and Mouloudia Alger, they couldn't achieve that most of the time. But now CRB, Sundowns will see that when they will be playing under the sweltering sun of Ouagadougou, Chiefs.
Tanzania.
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 So they will see that it is a very good team. And even Al Hilal, you saw Al Hilal against the TP Mazembe. It's not that TP Mazembe didn't play well. TP Mazembe performed much better than Vita, but they couldn't score because the team was very good. Al Hilal is a very good team.
Very strong team.
Yeah.
But I'm also interested in and Tim, I want to come to you here. A group C. Kaizer Chiefs made their debut this week in the group stages. We know about the problems that they've had, especially in North Africa. Well, now they'll be playing Ouagadougou this weekend. But I look at how Chiefs played against Horoya. They had their chances, but there was something for me that was missing. You know, I know Champions League football. You know, and Champions League football, especially at home, you pounce. Chiefs has played 3 matches in the Champions League this year, and they are yet to score at home.
For me, what is outstanding was I was impressed with Chiefs, having gone through, you know, the debacle of not traveling, you know, canceling on the last minute, and then you have to organize all the players to focus for this game against Horoya. And domestically, they are really struggling. So for me, them securing a draw, even when it was at home, I think that was a very good result for a team that is really trying to conjure up confidence to try and compete at all levels. They seem to be finding their feet in the Champions League as opposed to the local league, and now they are traveling to play in Burkina Faso. A few players have turned out for Bafana in Ouagadougou there. So for me, it's their first time as Chiefs to be in Burkina Faso. So for me, they're a team that can fancy their chances in this group stage, and if they can pick up 3 points against this team, I think they can hope to go further in this tournament.
Because look, I've seen Horoya are helpless away from home, you know. They always sit back. They look to pounce. But you can go and look at their results in the group stages away from home, but they come alive at home, you know. And obviously, fortunately, Gavin Hunt knows them. So I just felt that it was 2 points dropped for Chiefs against Horoya, even though also they were unfortunate, especially Greg with that first goal.
I think, you know, I mean, scoring 2 goals and disallowed, you know, the 2 goals. I think that the first one, for me, where I'm sitting, okay, I'm seeing it clear. For me, I'm not in the ground there. I feel it's onside. For me, it's an onside. I think one of those goals should be, you know, could have been allowed. But the good thing about Chiefs on that game, I think they are attacking, you know, the attacking power in that game. I said it before, you know, Gavin Hunt, he know how to play Champions League game, because with Nokovic and Castro, I think it's a good combination when you play Champions League, because most of the teams, okay, Roya, they're physical too, you know, but I think with Kaizer Chiefs, they have that, you know, that physicality in terms of, you know, empowering them on set piece and all those things. Even to the last minute, with the set piece, for me, when I'm watching the game, I thought it was a goal, but a fantastic save from the goalkeeper. I mean, that was a good save. But our Chiefs, you know, you must give them credit in the way they're coming for. They're playing a good brand of football. You know, you can see they're attacking more. You know, on the final third, you know, I mean, Roya will just defend it. They're hoping for something.
Thank you very much, Greg, because I don't know which Kaizer Chiefs team is watching. Because for me, they did Castro and the Nuko, up front and give the scarce resources that they have. They are on two fronts. They play locally and they play in Africa, and the bin band cannot recruit newcomers. So it is a quite difficult situation. And playing the way they do, for me, they play very well. Oroya is not a small team. Oroya deprived the Sundowns to qualify for the next stage in Altridgeville, and the people was fuming. So Oroya is not.
Oroya, Jeff, away don't go all out. From my experience, I remember when they played Orlando Pirates at Orlando, Pirates won 3-0. But Oroya at home, they came hard for Pirates. So
but
that's
can happen. It can happen.
That's how you play in the Champions League. You need to try and go and just see the recent club championship. Al Hilal was sitting back against Bayern Munich and everything like that. So you need to identify your opponent. If your opponent, if you feel is stronger than you, then you strategize accordingly. Playing in Johannesburg is high altitude. I think they have been here before. They know the conditions. So they sit back and say, if we get a draw, we are in the business. And then we go home, we try to wind up the game. So that has worked for them over a period of time. And I don't see them changing anytime soon.
Yeah, but the first goal should have been allowed.
It's a goal. For where I'm sitting, it's a goal. It's a goal.
Yeah, it is a goal. It is a goal.
I just want to move. It's a goal. We all agree. But that's why Motsepe is talking about VAR.
Yeah, but VAR, VAR should start locally. You don't put VAR in CAF competitions. You have to implement VAR in your local league.
It's about affordability. It's about affordability.
Yeah, but let's stop it. Don't put it. Don't roll it out.
No. I want us to move.
The infrastructure will be only infrastructure for VAR is only in a few countries.
Yeah, at least at Champions League level they can afford it.
I know. The problem is they only want to start in the semi-finals.
Money is coming. But another game that interested me that afternoon was Petro Atletico against Wydad. First half, I thought Wydad were not really strong, but also you look at the timing as well. These teams in the sub-Saharan Africa pushing that 3:00 kickoff because they know. But Wydad got a penalty, and unfortunately for El Cap, that penalty was saved. But they came back to win, in fact, to score and win in the second half. And now, unfortunately for Petro Atletico, it's 2 matches, 2 losses for them. And
their the coach is gone, eh?
The coach is gone.
Yeah.
The coach is gone. I feel, domestically and, in the Champions League, I think, the management, they just feel like, they haven't really, pulled up, where they're supposed to go. So, but, I'm just hoping the same thing not happen to TP Mozambique coach. Because I think they are pulling that direction too. But Wydad did very well. Wydad, missing the penalty and come to win that game. I think they did very well, and credit must be given to the players and the technical team.
But me, I still have a problem with these things of CAF. To get the people who failed in Champions League to come back and compete in CAF Confederation. They shouldn't be allowed. They shouldn't be allowed because this is not fair. This is not fair. They were given a chance.
What is not fair?
Huh?
What is not fair?
It is not fair for them. Wydad failed in Champions League and they came back to CAF Confederations. Leave the people who qualified for CAF Confederations to perform there, and those who failed in Champions League should be kicked out.
Okay.
Strong words from Mr. Mulumba.
Yeah.
But we're moving from this game.
You seem to suggest that Chan should be abolished completely.
No. Team, don't go
completely.
There. No. Team, don't go there. Team, no. No.
You know, one thing that I accepted during Motsepe, it was that CAF, for me, CAF should, AFCON should be staged every 4 years to allow Kosafa Wafu Sekafa to perform and to bring the youngsters in.
Jeff, don't bring that Chan talk now. Hey, we're not finished. you know the ambassador of Chan here.
You see the top players.
No,
even
wait.
No,
We're not even going there.
Okay. We want the quality, not the quantity.
Yeah, but there are two results. There
was quality at Chan. There was Mr.
Wait.
There was quality at Okay.
Yeah, wait.
Okay.
There's one more result. Two results. Because on paper, in African football, you knew that. I mean, look at this team, Tengat, coming from Senegal. Firstly, the way they qualified, beating Raja. You remember how the pitch was? People thought, no, they qualified because the pitch was like this. But you look at the result that they are getting, from even the first game that they played against Esperance, and in Tunis, and they gave Esperance problems, and now they held Zamalek to a goalless draw at home.
But it showed the good work that Senghor is doing in Senegal, because he has asked most of the team to have the academies, and the academies are there. You have Diamba academies, you have Generation Foot, and you have Football Academy. Those are the strongest. Even Sadio Mane came from Generation Foot.
Yeah.
So they are really nursing young players to make this right. Yes. And I'm very happy of that newcomer Tengat, because this is the very first time to qualify for the group stage. And drawing against Zamalek, it is a huge achievement. This is the team just won the Confederation Cup not long ago, and it shows the maturity, actually the effort that and the determination that Senegalese Football Authority is engaging all the stakeholders in the country to perform the way they want to perform now.
Very interesting. Well, gents, we've gone on for more than an hour now. We can never finish here, especially when Jeff starts to bring back the issue of Chan, and the ambassador of Chan will eat us alive.
Mr. Velile, let me just add something that Chan. You see,
no.
The Sundowns scouts, you remember
this won't end. This won't end well.
Please, Mr. Velile, we need the avenue to discuss this past Chan, please.
Yes. So just a quick one. We've got 2 games taking place this weekend. On Sunday in Ouagadougou, and also in Kinshasa,
Tanzania,
in Dar es Salaam. How do you see, Jeff, you've been talking a lot about CRB. How do you see Sundowns CRB going?
Oh, no, the Sundowns will do. I give Sundowns benefit of the doubt that they will win this game, but they won't lose, or if they can't win it, it will be a draw. Because why? Because they won't be in Algeria, where they will feel the pressure of the locals. So this is a neutral ground, and everyone is on equal foot. So there's no one taking advantage of the other in terms of pressure. So they will be playing on the neutral ground, and for me, Sundowns stands a better chance.
I want a prediction from Tim and also Greg as well. Chiefs is in Ouagadougou against wydad. Initially, wydad had wanted to play this game in Egypt, but things have not gone their way, so they've come down to sub-Saharan Africa, but still, Morocco is closer to Burkina Faso, right? Yeah. With Chiefs, yes. In fact, if you look at Chiefs, their best performance so far in this competition have came from away matches.
Against in Angola.
In Angola,
I think that's
they won away,
Yeah, I mean, the only goal they scored. Yeah, they got a goalless. But you remember they couldn't save a penalty in Cameroon there, so it could have been different. You get a different scenario there. But for me, I think Chiefs have more advantage, in terms of playing away, in terms of their style of play, looking for that set piece around the box, looking for corner kick, even the throwing, because Frostler can really throw that ball in the box, and most of the team, okay, they do watch Chiefs, but they have that edge in terms of set piece with the big boys, going forward and all the stuff there. So I think for me, playing in Burkina Faso is gonna be big test for them. But I think they're more relaxed. The players will they'll have that confidence to deliver. Chiefs can win 1-0 away. They can win 2-0. Depends on how the game goes. I give this one to Chiefs. They will win this one.
Yeah, but it depends what time do they play, because it is very hot. Burkina Faso. They should play maybe at 1-7, and that will favor wydad. But the heat.
I think
the heat will be there.
I stand to be corrected. I think the game is at 1800 hours. In fact, it's at 1800 hours South African time. So I think.
South African.
Yes.
South African time. Oh, no, that's a good time for Chiefs. Yeah, good time for Chiefs, but even for wydad as well, because they are having winter in their respective countries. But I see with the little force of Kaizer Chiefs up front, Nuko and Castro, they stand a better chance again. But this time around, it is my first time really I give both South African teams a chance to come up with, to come down with a victory.
At first, I thought that no South African team will be playing any game on the foreign soils. But then I'm glad that Chiefs and Sundowns have made it to both Burkina Faso and Tanzania. But if you look how Chiefs is playing, and in these conditions, I think if they can take advantage of the humidity against the wydad, I think they can get a result. Yes, no one expects them to win, but I'm giving them a victory on this one. When it comes to Sundowns, yes, Sundowns, they have got a well-structured and balanced team to compete on all fronts. Tanzania, they are going to open up the floodgates for the fans to get in the stadium. The mental strength of all the players, the mental strength versus COVID is very crucial at this moment in time, because you had Patrice saying, where on earth can they allow 30,000 fans only in the Tanzanian stadium? The rest of the world is not doing it. Why?
You know why?
So that no.
You know why? Because the president, because the president asked the World Organization doctors when they were there, and local doctors. He took the specimen from the trees, from animals, and they went to test. They said everybody has COVID, and he killed them.
Those were election time. He has come out. Those were election times. He has come out recently to acknowledge that there is COVID.
He wants the pastors to pray. How do you pray for COVID?
No,
people are dying.
People
are dying, guys.
No, people yes, but then but every medicine is also failing. So when he calls upon God Almighty to save the country or the world, that is also a solution. So those who believe in God, we should continue believing that it's a solution to take away this epidemic. So that's the rule.
On the pitch.
Even for Sundowns, as they go there, they should be careful.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When you heard Patrice speaking about allowing fans, it means that was discussed into the dressing room, and it has got an impact, going into the players' minds of how they are playing. These players, they have allowed the fans. Are they gonna get COVID? Now, if that is managed well on the mental strength of the players, I believe Sundowns will come out stronger. They have been on the road for so long compared to their opponent. They are traveling, almost every week, traveling away. So as a player, when you travel that, you don't want to go and lose. You intend to win the game so that can, rub off you and you feel good instead of losing, and then you're traveling too much. I think Sundowns will take this one also.
No, thanks so much, gents. It's been more than an hour. In fact, 1 hour and a half now. But yes, it was another good edition of This is African Football. Next week, surely we will be intensifying things because after next week, the following week, it will be election time. So we're looking for, I don't know, maybe I'll be in Morocco. I don't know if Morocco
I will be campaigning to be in Patrice Motsepe to implement that legend committee.
No, definitely. You know. In fact, we will play the video for him to remind him. You know, he committed to that project. Otherwise, no persistence. Thank you.
Yeah, God bless me, man. Mr. Jeff, I'm still number one in Nigeria. Don't forget.
It was for friendlies.
That choice.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.